Here's the kit we're going to be using. This is the electric fuel pump, marked helpfully in and out there. This wire goes to the ignition feed, and it's mounted on the front inner wing using these rubber mounting studs and earthed to the car via this wire. Also, we've got the blanking plate for the mechanical fuel pump, which is coming out, and a gasket for that too. The screws to mount the plate, and a couple of Jubilee clips. This is the mechanical fuel pump, and as you can see, it's looking pretty oily. I think that's because the seals have gone, and when that happens, oil gets pumped into the lower chamber and drips out through the pinhole in the bottom, which accounts for the small puddles of oil I'm getting on the garage floor. So the plan is to take that out, blank off the connection with the oil pump, and fit the electronic fuel pump. So that's the mechanical fuel pump out and the blanking plate in. So here's the old fuel pump on the bench, and as you can see, very, very oily. Apart from it leaking, we know it works well, so what I'll do is clean it up and get a kit to replace the seals and keep it in case I should need it again. Right, so we've reconnected the fuel lines to the petrol tank. We've connected it up to the ignition terminal on the fuse box, and we're ready to turn the key for the first time. And nothing is happening. So this is the Facet 40105 electronic fuel pump, and here's what's inside the box. That's the fuel pump, 40105. That's that. And also two 8mm unions and installation instructions. I also have this. This is a inertia cutoff switch for a fuel pump. It's actually from a, well, it's got on the label here, Honda Accord. But it's the type that was fitted to Rovers and will fit this car as well. Unfortunately though, I bought it without the connector, and I don't have a connector, so I really want to get this fuel pump on, so I'm going to put it on now and fit the inertia switch later on, which I understand also needs a relay as well. But for now, we're going to be putting the fuel pump in as it is. So the first thing we've got to do is to join some wires together, because the wire from the electronic fuel pump isn't long enough to reach the ignition, so I have to extend it. So. There you go. So that's the wires joined together. Now we'll get the heat shrink over the join and apply the heat gun. Now the next step is to get these unions onto the end. So take out these rubber bungs, and what I'm going to do to make sure there's no leaks is to put some PTFE tape around the threads here. Should be enough. Make sure we leave the union open. I'll tighten it up in a little bit. Let's put the other one on. Okay, so that's the unions in. I'm going to tighten those up and let's move over to the car. I decided to mount the pump in the front of the car, mainly because I don't want to lose the reserve function, which I have used on one occasion when I ran out of petrol. So I was quite glad that it was there. So I've put it on the near side inner wing. There it is. Mounted on rubber mounting studs, which will hopefully cut down the vibration and the noise. Also, what we have to do is to reattach the main fuel pipe and the reserve back onto the tank, which I took off to relieve the pressure to stop the petrol siphoning out the fuel pump when I took it out. So we're connected up to ignition control and we're going to give it a test run. So the pump's in, the fuel pipes are connected, and the electrics are connected. Next thing to do is to just turn the key and hope for the best. That sounds like fuel pump. That's a good sign. Petrol is there in the fuel, in the filter, so that's good. Spark. It's because the HT lead is not connected. Oh dear. Okay. So, take two. Right, I'll take that. Let's just have a quick check, see if there's any smells. No. No. No, that looks pretty good. No leaks. And she fires up, so job done.